Right, in this lesson we're going to be going over where to actually find these brands and how to start thinking about approaching them. Right, I'm basically going to go over, there's 4 ways to do this. Just do the first one, right? If you don't have $50 to buy a list, bro, get a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should have $50 to spend on your business. So it's the cheapest way to do it, right? I'm going to show you how to do it just before we go into Meta Ad Library, but it's the easiest and fastest way to find brands that are worth working for. It's cheap, and a list is going to last you a little while, and you should ideally get 1 or 2 clients out of every list, right? So you can actually get lead generators to put in how many ads they're running. Now this is critical because let me actually run through the qualification requirements first. Not every brand is worth your time because there's a few things. It must be a problem-solving product. Remember the type of ads that we're running here. They're hardcore direct response VSLs and ads and statics. This does not work for basic bitch jewellery brands or fashion brands. That's not the brands that we're going for, right? There's maybe certain fashion brands where this could work, where it's like maybe footwear that has special capabilities or help people with certain conditions, or maybe some certain like clothing that has specific direct response kind of elements to it. But for the most part, you want to be targeting brands that's like supplements, skincare, fitness products, devices, all this stuff. So like if a product purely relies on aesthetics or status, it's not a fit for direct response creatives, right? Now, that doesn't mean that you can't find a skincare brand that's scaling off aesthetics and then you bring the direct response element. That's kind of what we're going for here, right? The next requirement is they must actively be spending money on ads. This is a non-negotiable because if they're not spending money on ads, they're not making money, right? And it's easy to check. You pull up Meta Ad Library and see their active ads. If they're not spending money on paid ads, they don't have a budget, very bad sign. They don't understand performance marketing because they're like, oh, we just do organic. That does not work, right? Or they're about to go out of business, right? They must be doing at least 50k a month in revenue. If it's your first client and you're just dying to get in there, you can take something lower, but you're just not a brand that's making less than 50k a month probably isn't going to be able to pay you because let's say they've got insane margins and they're already quite profitable, right? The tops are making 20k profit from this, and that's going to be rare, right? Now, if they're making 20k profit, this is how you need to have conversations with them. They could pay you, right? But this is why I'm saying this is kind of the floor. You don't really want to go any lower than this. You want to be targeting brands that have got holes in their marketing, but they are still spending on ads, and you come in and you help them, right? We want brands that are scaling, not starting, right? That's very important. Plus, trajectory means a lot in this. If a brand started 3 months ago, or they just started spending money on ads 3 months ago and they were stuck at 10k a month, now they're at 60k a month, that's worth it, right? But if a brand's been at 30k a month for the past 2 years, probably not the best brand to work with. Now, this is the last one. It's up to you how you play this, but personality alignment. I never work with, I've worked with too many clients that I just don't align with personally, and I just can't do it anymore. So I've put this in because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I do. Like, you need to ask yourself on the call, or maybe even before it, if you look at their social media and stuff, would it be working miserable? Would working with this person make me miserable? Do they seem like they actually give a shit about their own business? And are they going to micromanage every single movement that I make? Life is too short to work with dickheads, even if they've got money. I don't know how many clients that they've had no problems with me, but like they were just a pain in the arse to work with, so I had to get rid of them, and I'm not doing that again. That's why I put this in. It's up to you if you follow it. Some of you are not going to follow it. You're going to take on clients that you don't personally align with, and then you're going to hate your life, and then you're going to come back and be like, I wish I'd listened. But that is the requirements. Now let's get back to where to actually find these people. So just buy a list. I'm actually just going to pull up Fiverr and show you how to get a list. This is by far the best way to actually just get people. So we're looking for, you can just be like Shopify owner B2B list. Right, I will e-commerce Shopify owner list lead generation from $8. Now you want to look for someone that's got like a few reviews. This one's got 62 reviews. And what you want to do is basically you just come over and contact them first. So how many is this? 50 leads, that's not bad. 300, that's not bad. 570, that's not too bad. You could probably get it cheaper. But have a little shop around here, and then try and find someone that has it for a good price. But what you want to do is you want to actually contact them first. I can't actually do it, I'll type it out. Message to lead generator. This is what you want to ask them. You need to be like, I'm looking for X amount of leads. I need Shopify only. You only want to be working with Shopify. You don't want to be working with fucking WooCommerce or Magenta or whatever the fuck it's called. Shopify only brands. And then you can put in the industry, skincare and CPG brands. That's consumer packaged goods. So that's like protein powders and bars and foodstuffs and all that stuff. CPG, CPG brands only. Also, can you pull in how many active ads they are running? Now, this is super important, right? Because, and then you can even say something like, because I need them to be running minimum 50 ads, right? Now, that's kind of what I say to them. I say minimum 50 ads. If they've got less than 50 ads, I can't work with them, right? You can put it lower if you want. You can put like 10, 20, 30, depends where you're at. If you want to go for bigger brands, go for more ads. Smaller brands, smaller ads. But this is what you need. You need Shopify only, the specific industry that you want, and then how many active ads they're running on Meta, right? How many active ads they're running on Meta, right? And if they say that they can't get your Meta ads, don't work with them. Go and find someone else, right? Because there's going to be people in here. I use a few different ones. I'm going to ask them if I can actually put their details in this, and then I can actually give you the lead generators that I use. Yeah, you want to be asking them this because you need them to be running 50 ads. And what they're going to give you is a big lead list. Now, let's say we take it off this guy, right? 300 leads, right? For £42. That's amazing, right? Really good. As long as they're high quality and as long as he gets us what we actually need. Now, how long is that actually going to take us to go through that? Well, let's say we do, in the outreach thing, I'm going to tell you to do 5 to 10 a day because we're going really deep into these people's brands and we've got the lists, so it shouldn't take you that long. But that list is going to last you ages, and the chances of you getting a client out of those 300 emails is super high. So that you're paying £42 and you could end up getting a role that pays you 3k a month for the next year. Like, that's insane. And the only other parts that you need to do is literally outreach them and be good. So yeah, this is what this is the only part that I'm actually going to show you in the A to Z outreach module. I'm going to go over how to find other ones, right? But this is the main way to do it, right? The other ways is Meta Ad Library. Now, like I said, you should be spending a lot of time just looking through Meta Ad Library from now on, looking for different product categories, brand names, looking for different keywords, looking at ads. You might find a brand and they're running a shit ton of ads and they look like they would be really cool to work with. Now, the only thing with actually reaching out to these people is getting the contact information is a fucking pain in the ass. You're going to be able to find them, right? You're going to be able to find the brand. Then what you're going to need to do is like go onto the website, see if they've got contact information on the website. A lot of them don't. Some of them might be drop shipping stores. Now, it's not bad that they're drop shipping. Drop shippers are the best to work with, right? Because they only care about fucking profit, right? But it's going to be harder to get their details. You might end up having to DM them on Instagram. Sometimes it's hard to find their Instagram page. But I have gotten in contact with some people through this. What I've done is I went onto their website, found their Instagram page, and then just DM'd them on Instagram for like a week solid until they actually replied. Now, the only way I was able to do that was because I was following up with them with real value. I was like, look, I see that you're running this ad. I wrote you this VSL script, whatever, right? So that's the second way, Meta Ad Library, right? Now, the third one is Twitter or X. Twitter is packed with e-commerce brand owners who are actively scaling, right? But what I don't want you to do is just go on and start peppering people who talk about e-commerce saying that you're like going to be their creative strategist, right? Do not do that. Some of these gurus who post screenshots on Shopify don't have a Shopify store. They're just trying to sell a course, right? So do not do that. What we're doing is we're going to follow actual brand owners, right? So people who's talking about e-commerce, who's talking about creative strategy. And one, you're going to do this just for information because some of the stuff on Twitter is amazing. But what you want to do is watch for people posting roles like I'm looking for a copywriter or I'm needing a creative strategist, because people on Twitter are always hiring on Twitter. I know one guy, Paul Nicholas, is scaling a brand to like 150 mil and he's about to hire a bunch of creative strategists. I don't know him personally, but I've seen it on Twitter. And he was like, I'm hiring creative strategists like in the DMs. So that's a really good way to get a role. So just kind of stay on Twitter, stay on top of things and keep looking for roles there. Agencies as well, you'll get some, if you're open to doing agency work, working within an agency, still really good to do. There's big creative agencies. There's going to want people to be able to write ads and do creative strategy. They're going to post for roles as well. Take this away. But the conversation is happening there. You just need to be in the right circles and following people. The best way to do this is just go on and start following a bunch of e-commerce people. The whole kind of Twitter money is all kind of combined, but the e-commerce people, or another little sector. Now, organic discovery. So I'd done this, I got a knockback, I never actually ended up working with the brand, but I found this cool brand, their ad came up on my feed, and then I basically just checked their ad library. They were running like 35 ads, they were like kind of more aesthetic, and I pitched them on VSLs, and then they basically told me they didn't have that much money, but that's a really good way to find brands, and it's organic discovery. You might find them on Instagram, they might pop up, you might see their ad, you go and check them out, and then the best way to do it is just literally DM them on Instagram. It's less formal, and sometimes it's the only way you can do it because finding their email is going to be quite hard. So yeah, this method is a bit slower, but this is like a really good way to end up working with a brand that you actually like, because it's one that pops up on your feed and you're like, oh, this is cool. And I went over the qualification requirements. So that is it. Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to go over A to Z outreach. Note that I'm not showing you exactly how to outreach, and like I'm not going through the meta ad library, I'm not going through the Twitter part, I'm not going through organic discovery, because the outreach part is very fucking simple. If you see a brand and you want to outreach them, don't think twice. Don't be like, oh, should I do this? Just be like, right, I'm going to write them a VSL, I'm going to make them an ad, and I'm going to send it to them. What's the worst that could happen? And you need to do it in this informal way. That's why in the next lesson, I'm not giving you any templates to follow. I want you to come up with a message on your own. Don't use ChatGPT. We've lost this like personal element to outreach, and that's what's going to make you stand out in these people's inboxes. So anyway, rant over, and I will see you guys in the next lesson.